All right, Shalom. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakahak Wadash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. A sincere Shalom, Labakariam, Shah Yasha Allah. That's peace to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel and Salakia. Excuse me for the background noise. I'm inside my work vehicle right now. You know, there's a lot of things happening, constant information coming out 24/7, 7 days a week. You know, I mean, this is wow what's happening. We are in biblical times. Do not let anyone else say anything else. Oh yeah, and this is only for the house of the faithful. You know, the hopeful elect. Because the rest of these people, they stuck where they at until the Lord opened their eyes. And for a lot of these people, it's just too late. You know, they're going to have to deal with this MOTB. They're going to have to deal with these walls of Babylon closing down on them. Now, I want y'all to hear what's happening with Amazon. This is going to add to the famine. The Lord said that there will be famines in Matthew, the 24th chapter. And the famines will start. A famine means there's a lack of food. Doesn't mean there will be no food. Just that you won't have the abundance like you have here in Great Babylon. The abundance of things. You know, you can go into the 99-cent store and, you know, you got, 5 for $5 deals at McDonald's and, you know, a burger for a penny. I know they was doing that at Wendy's last year. You know, all these luxuries. You know, the Lord is slowly dwindling this stuff away from Babylon. But check this out.
Right now, Amazon has begun canceling orders from China and other Asian countries, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of purchase orders. This is in response to Donald Trump's tariffs, which means prices will go up because the shortages of these products will increase in the United States. According to Bloomberg, the orders for beach chairs, scooters, air conditioners, and other merchandise from multiple Amazon vendors were halted after Donald Trump's April 2nd tariffs announcement. Many vendors believe this is in response to the tariffs. One vendor had been selling beach chairs made in China to Amazon for more than a decade, received an email saying, you know what, not to ship them anymore. $500,000 worth of beach chairs were nixed after the chairs had already been manufactured, leaving the person on the hook to pay the factory and find other buyers. If Amazon is canceling orders, I'm sure more companies will soon too, which means that there will be shortages in America for a number of items, which means costs will go up on these items.
Did you hear about what Amazon did?
So you hear what's going on? A lot of people are canceling their Amazon Prime memberships. You know, this is going to affect Whole Foods. Yo, you've been warned that, you know, this day was coming. Oh, it's going to get worse than this. It's going to get deadly out here to where they're going to be killing for the bread. It's just not enough to go around. You got some big families out here, 6 to a family, 7, 8 people shacking up in one home. Yeah, it's about to get wild, you know, and this is all written in the scriptures, you know, hundreds of years ago. Now we in a day where the Lord is, he's bringing his word to pass. Let me just read this. This is 2 Ezra 6, and I'm start from verse 24. And at that time shall friends fight. Actually, let me start here, 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. So sown means you got it together. Now you go into these grocery stores, you're going to start seeing empty shelves. You know, you're going to order off Amazon, they're going to tell you it's a month, 2-month wait. No, Prime ain't doing it no more. Oh, Trump really, you know, he's sticking it to you with this one here. You know, and China not backing down. I did hear today that Trump went up on those tariffs like 124% now on China. Like, this thing is getting, I mean, whatever the elites are doing behind the closed doors, it's happening. And it's happening fast. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. Those are supermarkets, you know, Target, BJ's, all that stuff. 90% of that stuff come from China. Costco's, you know. Don't forget about Home Depot. Yeah, you know. This stuff is, China is a major player when it comes to the material, the goods of Great Babylon. So now that stuff is going to be unsown. And the full storehouses, the abundance of things shall suddenly be found empty. And we looking at it. We watching this close. Now the Lord can have it bounce back. However it go, these prophecies will take place.
To Donald Trump setting a higher tariff on China? Yes, China may be one of the strongest markets around the world. But that is one of the strongest markets around the world. We are left unchallenged
Oh, by the way,
when it comes to
this guy's delusional.
being the consumer of this world. In other words, your economy cannot function without this consumer. And now millions of products that China typically exports to other companies and other countries around the world have been put to a stop. How many millions of products every day does China ship around the world, especially to the United States? Because on average, Amazon ships over 20 million products a day, 75% of which come directly from China. And still you think China has the upper hand? You got to stop betting against your president. You got to stop betting against this individual who is finally standing
I don't know what
up to
news
these
he
bullies
watching. China came out and made a statement. They said, we've been around for 5,000 years. We will survive without Babylon. I mean, this is the hand of the Lord. But let's listen on.
not trading fairly. Because at this very moment, China does not hold leverage over the United States. The United States carries all the leverage over China and any others that try to retaliate against us.
Amazon has announced that it's canceling inventory orders from China. What does that mean? That means if you're a supplier, a store, that you tend to send inventory out of China directly through Amazon, that's been put on hold. If you have a storefront on Amazon that you also sell to Temu and TikTok Shop, and you're again ordering straight out of China to the Amazon fulfillment center, that's come to an end. We're going to see a disruption in availability, disruption. Prices are going to get higher due to the tariffs. Amazon doesn't want to get stuck in the middle of this. And they probably have to recalibrate the way that they do shipping costs and so forth because of what's happening with the tariffs and China. So this is when the panic.
This is when the panic is going to start setting in, man. Listen close, and we hoping that the Lord keep His foot on the pedal here, because there's so many things breaking out around the world to prove that you're in the last days. We're in the second coming of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. So the Lord said His servants will eat, but these people, man, your people about to suffer. That's why it says once again, 2 Ezra 6:22, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses. You order a product from Amazon, you get it that day sometimes, depending on your location. So you're comfortable. You ordering from Grubhub. People don't go grocery shopping anymore. So, we all into that, that easy way of living, that fast life. But now those full storehouses, that easy street, is going to be unsown and suddenly found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And that trumpet, that's the Bible. And that's the man of the Lord. We telling you these prophecies, and now people scared. People don't want to believe it. Even the non-believers are starting to shake and say, man, I think we in biblical times. And at that time shall friends fight one against another. A lot of this is going to be about food. Your greatest enemy is your neighbor. They showed you that in Leave the World Behind. I mean, all the end of the world movies, they show you, your neighbor's going to plot on you. And you're going to fight with another over water, over bread. And this is the time we're coming into. At that time shall friends, those you think that's your friends, they know all my secret routes. Hey, don't be out here running your mouth too much about what you prepping and what you got to your co-workers, and let them people talk. It says, at that time shall friends fight one against another, like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, and the springs of fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Right? Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation in the end of your world. And that's the elect right there, man. And the fountains and springs, they gonna flow for us. That's this knowledge. But also the physical waters, the Lord gonna put a stop to that, man. But we dunking in, we're submerging into these waters right now, man. Because this is where it's at. These prophecies, man.
More to come. Stock market is absolute junk again today. It's I'm not even gonna watch it. It's wild swings in both directions. It's so near.
Yeah, that's that fear. Salakia for this commercial. That's that fear. And fair use. This video is for educational purposes only.
So whether you think all of this is Trump's fault or if we already had a problem before Trump and he's just trying to fix things, we are going to be seeing an increase in prices now, particularly on Amazon. And a lot of people shop on Amazon. I know I do a lot of shopping on there when I need things because sometimes I can't always go out and get everything that I need. I don't have the time. So it's really convenient to be able to go online and shop for said necessary items. But here's the thing. Right now, prices are going to go up, and whether things get sorted out soon or not.
That's called inflation. That's called inflation. Now, this is going to be like the leads are behind this, so this is a artificial inflation, but this is going to increase and turn into hyper inflation. And this is all biblical prophecy here, And yeah, it's going. And for you women out there, oh man. You single, know-it-all ladies that got it all together, it's going to come a time you're going to have to hunt for your meal out here. This is Revelation 6, verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand, right? And I heard, and that balance goes into a yoke, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny. Now, a penny was a day wage for a Roman soldier, in the first century. I think that penny comes up to about 10 pieces of silver. So that was some money they were making. But you will pay a measure of wheat for a penny. So you're going to have to take your whole paycheck for the day just to buy a measure of wheat. Now that's inflation, like she just said. Everything is going to go up. Yeah, things are going to go up.
And shop for said necessary items. But here's the thing. Right now, prices are going to go up, and whether things get sorted out soon or not, I think the big idea here, at least for me, is to make sure that if there's anything right now that you really think you need off of Amazon, things that you need just generally speaking in terms of being prepared for higher food prices, higher cost of goods, things that maybe you've been putting off, but you know that you will be purchasing. If you need to buy these items brand new, then perhaps go ahead and get these right now.
And that's good advice for the non-believers, because you ain't got the faith, you ain't got the spirit of the Lord, and also the house of the faithful. If you have some money to get some extra items, get it. Why not? You don't have to be out here in the supermarket fighting with these people, these Babylonians, trying to get some water when that day hit. But yeah, we in this time where it says you're gonna take a measure, you're gonna take a day wage, which basically your whole paycheck, just to buy a measure of wheat, which represents food. And it says, and see that thou hurt not the oil and the wine, and that's the knowledge and the faith. Okay, so this oil and this wine ain't gonna be affected in the time of all hell breaking loose. But yeah, you're gonna find yourself dumping 2 weeks of pay into one grocery bill real soon.
Purchases later, you're going to be paying likely at a very much higher price point. So on my channel, I'm all about being frugal and
this
being
her
prepared
channel.
ahead of time.
It's her channel right here. I just started following her. What's the name? A Homestead Journey. You know, she got some good information, good videos. She always in working out of her car. But hey, as you see, people waking up, man. They getting the memo. You know, Trump is making major moves in 2025. You know, things are happening. So be on high alert, be aware, stay prayed up, stay in the spirit. Oh yeah, and also don't let the incredulity. You got these non-believers with all this going on. I was talking to somebody today, you know, they refuse to see the writing that's on the wall. Not that we're trying to convince anybody, but you know, you do get in these small conversations, you know, with these people out here, you know, just to see where their mind is at, you know, and these people still got hope, you know, they don't want to see the writing that's on the wall. So the Lord said this, 2nd Ezra 15, right? The 2nd Ezra 15, verse 1, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. So we speaking prophecy here. We're not making this up. You know, you don't believe, that's on you, man. You know, we can't help you believe, but we're going to show you the prophecies. We out there on the streets. We're not wasting time. Which I shall put in thy mouth. And the Lord woke us up to this, saith Yahweh, and causeth them to be written on paper, which we have, for they are faithful and true. So when we speak the truth. You're going to have these non-believers, these two-thirds, these scoffers. I don't believe that. Nah, this place going to bounce back. I don't see that. That's Jake. They think because they don't see it, they don't want to see it, that it's not happening. But nah, this ain't your fairy tales here. This is happening. Fear not the imagination against thee. Let not the incredulity. Now, this word incredulity, this goes into unbelief. You know, just look this word up real quick. This is incredulity, right? The state of being unwillingly or unable to believe something. So they're unable to see these scriptures, unable to believe something, man. So the Lord says, it says, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful, the unbelieving people, oh, the writing is on the wall and you still stuck in your ways. You still don't believe it. The Lord said, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So you stuck. So we not worrying about you, man. We putting this out for the household of faith that get ready. These prophecies are breaking off. And your food and water is at jeopardy, man. But the Lord said, matter of fact, you know, the servants, the household of faith, we ain't gonna be out here scrambling. You know, matter of fact, food and water, that's the least of our concern. You know, these Babylonians, they're gonna be worrying about their next meal. We rolling in spirit, man. We looking for the ship, man. Straight up, man. You know, they want to be comfortable. This is Isaiah 65:13. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord, power, behold, my servants. This is for the true worshipers. My servants shall eat. So we ain't worrying about it. We eating now, and we don't even know how we eat it. We getting it done now, and the Lord gonna get it done then. But we on the mission here. It says, but you shall be hungry. But you unbelievers, you're gonna end up starving in this, man. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart. However the Lord gonna do it. Some men and women of the hopeful elect gonna be singing, and you're gonna sing rightfully so, because the Lord is taking care of you while these people out here starving. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but you shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit, man. And that's howling in agony. Shit, you might have to watch your children starve to death, man. You don't know how the Lord gonna do it. But this thing is taking place. Akim, Akwath, household of faith. You know, hold strong. Pray for more faith. Study. Get this word in. Don't waste time. Get to our apostles' videos, man. Get to our elders, you know, the bishops, a great millstone, might I add. Get to those videos. You know, don't waste time with this this trumpet that's being blown, because the time is winding down. For this information is very time sensitive. Giving all the honor, glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honor to the elders, a great millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom.